My name's Joel Maxwell and I'm a journalist with the Observer, and I'm pretty excited to be here tonight. I've got a great audience, a great crowd, and also it's exciting for me because this is part of our online coverage too. So as well as the people here tonight, we're going to be doing multimedia stuff on our digital platform. We'll have video, we might have a bit of audio, so we'll be getting the message out from our candidates to a whole bunch of people outside, the ones that have just made the effort to turn up here. And our first question is, what is your party's position on asset sales?
In answer to your question, it's quite simple. We won't be selling our assets, we'll be protecting them.
We've done it before.
These assets, we have done it before, and we've learned the lesson, but our counterparts on the other side of the debate tonight haven't. And that's a different...
So the question is about asset management. The first thing to know, which constitutes a dimension of asset management. Currently, New Zealanders own $220 billion worth of assets. Four SOEs, four energy SOEs, which we own, constitute 3% of that portfolio. What we are proposing is that we retain 51% ownership, which is control in anybody's language. We are proposing that 49% be available and that we put a cap on that 49%, that no one investor can own more than 10%.
We've heard so many ideas about how they're going to sell the money from these assets. First they're going to use it to pay off debt, then they're going to use it, lo and behold, to pay for the expressway that's going to they want to bang through there.
Bring it on, bring it on.
Two claps, it's about all it's worth. Now we've heard it's going to pay for health and education, which I'm sure we pay taxes for already, and now an irrigation scheme for farmers. Now, we are absolutely and utterly opposed to asset sales.
Well, our position on the road of national significance is very clear. Thank you for your support. The important thing is that I had Minister Joyce out recently confirming that the funding is secure, confirming that pending consent, it will start in 2013. Hugely important to connect our two biggest communities. Of course, having an interchange on Kapiti Road and M1 Road makes sense.
The problem is very clear. Look, it's congestion on the highway and the fact that everyone in this room wants another bridge across the Waikanae River. That's what we wanted in 2009, and that's what Nathan supported in 2009, and it seems to me that's what was wanted in 2009. You supported it, and you've never come back to any group and explained why you've changed your mind. And I think that if you're the representative for the area and you shake hands and you look people in the eye and you say you support the Western Link Road, then you've got to come back and you've got to explain why you've changed your mind, rather than just talk about the fact that you now support the expressway. And well, you're the guys that are responsible for these traffic jams. It's news to me that Hekia and I are responsible for the traffic jams. That's news to me, Mr. Foster. Can I just...
It's to build it.
That's right.
I'm now the only I am large, but the mana candidate that is for Transmission Gully. Our party came in at the end of 2008 and got straight into the business end, which was, how did we get this planned and consented, how did we fund it?
Just to set the record straight, we also support getting on with Transmission Gully.
Well, you know, 70 years ago, the Marines were hoping to build the road back then. Well, I'm sure there have been a few national governments in that time who didn't do anything about it too. We actually put forward the money to make sure the feasibility study was there, to make sure it could happen, and we're going to make sure it happens. For Hiki to stand here tonight and say she is the only mana candidate that supports Transmission Gully is complete and utter nonsense. If you're lucky enough to have one of my pamphlets, look at the last point, Labour will start Transmission Gully.
All right, look, there's 24,000 kids under the age of 20, not in education, not in employment or training, and we've got a policy to get every single one of them earning or learning. National's policy is just about telling them how they can spend their money, which doesn't do anything.
What's the policy?
Our policy in respect of these kids is that every single one of them would be earning or learning, and the biggest and most exciting part of that is the apprenticeship scheme, whereby we would convert dole payments into apprenticeships. Employers are really excited about this. Phil Goff was talking to a developer in Christchurch. Well, obviously you guys aren't going to hire them, you know, because it leaves you less money to spend on your batches, which you'll have to take
Well, it's interesting, unemployment in the Otaki electorate is actually less than it was in 2002 and 2003. It was higher under the Labor government. I'm not sure if you recall any recession in 2002 or 2003. So when you line everything up that we've had to deal with, global financial crisis, all of the issues around Canterbury Quakes, I think we're doing pretty well, but we need to do more. We need to do more for our young people.
I think that we should let people, those residents who might be in some Wellington super city, at least have a fair say about what they think first before we start making decisions about enforcing a super city upon them. I do think there are a lot of services that could be shared at an absolute minimum, and I think a lot of that work has been done already, but I'm not going to give an opinion as to whether I think we should enforce a super city upon Wellington. One thing.
I think that it's very helpful that there has been a discussion document that's put something on the table for us to talk about. And what that discussion document says from my reading is that it proposes that those things across the entire area, such as planning, such as infrastructure, such as the opportunity for economic development, those are the kinds of things that would be done by a unified council, and the proposal is that there be 11 seats on that. That's the proposal. Well, the first thing is that we have to continue on with National's economic plan. Basically, that it means keeping interest rates low. It means making sure that we're able to repay debt. We have to continue to have a savings culture, which we have seen, as Nathan's already said, New Zealanders respond magnificently to the need to stop borrowing to spend, which was the culture of the previous 9 years, and instead pay off debt and save so that we can invest in productive economy. That's what we need to do.
Okay, well, there's a number of things that we've got in our policy that I think are really going to make a difference in terms of making real jobs, not promised jobs, not 170,000 jobs that will never eventuate in 4 years. Like Peter said, we're going to make sure we do reinstate the R&D tax credits, and yes, we're going to bring in the agriculture sector into ETS to make sure we can pay for that. But at the moment, everybody in this room who pays taxes is subsidising the agriculture sector to make sure we can pay that $800 million.
Our party's position in respect of national standards is that we don't think that they're any good. But essentially, we don't think they're any good. We think that a far better scheme is the New Zealand curriculum, which was developed over many years together with professionals. There are appropriate testing tools that have been used by professionals as opposed to national standards, which are rushed under urgency through Parliament. That's no way to treat an education system.
We're not bullying parents and teachers. We want to ensure that the information is flowing out of the classroom onto the kitchen table at home so that the parents can know how well their child is doing. There's about 19 schools that haven't returned their charter out of about, what is it, how many primary schools? Nearly 3,000? Well, first of all, what we need to support our ageing population is a strong economy. Get our economy growing. We've got going forward to 2025 superannuation locked in at the same age of entitlement, the same rate. So we don't feel that there's any need to lift the age. Talking to hard-working people in the Otaki electorate doing hard-working manual jobs, they don't want to work 2 years longer.
Somehow, in this lovely country of New Zealand, somehow we can afford it and the rest of the world can't. The rest of the OECD putting it up to 67, that's what they're doing in Australia, up to 68 in the state. What did Treasury say? Well, you guys had a report from Treasury saying that it's not affordable, saying that that GST would have to go up to 19%, or people would have to pay an extra $30 per week in tax. It's just absolutely not affordable.